All right, let's get right into the explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into an absolutely wild, cinematic journey of survival, regression, and some seriously jaw-dropping power. We're looking at the complete story of Ronin. This is a guy who goes from witnessing the literal apocalyptic destruction of his entire world to becoming an unstoppable academy prodigy. It's a tale absolutely packed with intense character development, mind-bending plot twists, and some truly brutal battles. So, our story begins in the absolute chaos of a doomed battlefield. Humanity is basically falling apart against these godlike giants known as the Akaniut. In her final moments, Grand Commander Arashan, who, by the way, rose from being a simple tailor to leading humanity's absolute last stand, sacrifices herself. She pulls Ronin in, forces this magical blue orb into his mouth with a kiss, and boom, this artifact triggers one final regression, sending Ronin's consciousness hurtling all the way back in time. Section 1. A Second Chance. Okay, so Ronin wakes up under a peaceful tree in his old hometown. His memories? Fully intact. His lethal battle instincts? Razor sharp. But he is staring down the ultimate life or death deadline because he knows exactly what's coming. In exactly 10 years, those Ayut giants are going to invade and wipe out everything he loves, including his fiercely optimistic older sister. To change this doomed timeline, he knows he can't just be a foot soldier again. He has to reach the absolute pinnacle of power. And that means he's got just 1 month to prepare for the entrance exams of the Empire's most elite institution, Fian Academy. Literally, right off the bat, Ronin's past life instincts kick into overdrive. He stumbles on some local bullies who are just tormenting this kid using magic. The kid is Asal, a timid boy with a ridiculously rare gift for telekinesis. Now, Ronin doesn't have a weapon, so armed with literally just a wooden stick, he totally bypasses the bully's real sword and cleanly slices off the guy's ear. It's brutal, it's efficient, and it instantly secures Asal's loyalty. Ronin knows he's going to need that rare magical talent when the giants finally show up. Section 2. The Road to Foliant. But here's the thing. Surviving the elite Foliant Academy is one challenge. But just getting your foot in the door requires insane tuition fees and undeniable real-world experience. So Ronin drags a very cowardly Asal into the woods to get both. In this fast-paced, absolute blur of violence, Ronin beheads 15 treasure-hoarding lunar goblins in seconds. And right after that, they completely decimate this elite group of wanted criminals called the Calaboro Poachers. By taking them out, Ronin ends up rescuing a super rare, magical dream bird. As a thank you, the bird's owner hands Ronin this incredibly mysterious, practically unbreakable purple egg. Now, to really survive this era, Ronin has to understand the power dynamics at play. Okay, let's dive into this real quick. While he's selling off his goblin loot, he meets Maria, a merchant's daughter who gives him a major reality check. She explains that mana is the root of nature's power, basically what all the prospective academy students use. Aura, on the other hand, is this innate, intensely trained power unlocked only by the absolute strongest fighters after decades of blood, sweat, and tears. So, here is the absolute craziest part of all this. The noble elites entering Phytanian, they've been trained to sense and manipulate mana from birth. They're wealthy, they're arrogant, but Ronin, he has 0 mana. Literally none. The fact that his physical achievements are so mind-blowing is because he is keeping pace with and straight up dominating these mana users entirely through the lethal battlefield instincts he honed fighting apocalyptic giants. It's insane. Section 3. Breaking the Academy Records. All right, it is entrance exam day. The practical combat test requires applicants to show off their skills on this magically engineered dummy that's built to withstand high-level aura. When Ronin steps up, he doesn't use a single drop of mana. With pure, concentrated physical force and just unbelievable speed, he delivers a perfectly clean slice that takes the dummy's head right off. The examining professors, including the legendary Sword Saint Navaros and the headmaster himself, are just left totally speechless by his terrifying raw power. Navaros literally handpicks him as her personal student on the spot. But let's look at the full picture here, because it's actually kind of hilarious. His skill set is wildly unbalanced. He easily takes first place in practical combat, actually beating out the most famous genius of his generation. But the written theory exam? Yeah, he placed 5,712th. He completely bombed it. I mean, the guy's a veteran soldier from the apocalypse, not exactly a scholar, right? Of course, taking first place paints a massive bullseye right on his back. The guy who was supposed to be number 1, Sword Saint Schlieffen, who happens to be the heir to the most prestigious family in the Empire, demands a fight. Ronin couldn't care less about aristocratic titles, so he clashes with the genius. In this brief, incredibly disrespectful skirmish, Ronin actually cracks Schlieffen's prized mithril sword. It is a devastating blow to the noble's pride and kicks off this fierce rivalry right out of the gate. Section 4. Forging New Alliances. Pretty quickly, Ronin realizes his cheap countryside steel just isn't going to cut it at Fithian. During training, Instructor Navarro's literally shatters his sword, proving he needs a weapon that can actually handle his explosive strength. So he heads down to the capital's underground forge to meet Daron, a 400-year-old master dwarf. After Ronin accidentally destroys half the forge with a single swing, Daron agrees to make him a weapon, and the secret ingredient? That unbreakable dreambird eggshell Ronin has been lugging around. And while he's waiting around for this sword, Ronin attends Navarros' class and spots a totally familiar face. Adashan, yes, the exact same future Grand Commander who sent him back in time. Except right now, she's just a bullied, overworked teacher's assistant with none of her terrifying future power. When a third-year student starts abusing her, Ronin absolutely snaps. He steps in and brutally beats the senior student to a pulp. It perfectly shows his fierce loyalty, but it also highlights this crazy contrast between the timid girl she is now and the absolute Iron Lady she's destined to become. Meanwhile, what about the actual contents of that dreambird egg? Well, it definitely didn't go to waste. Before Daron turned the shell into a sword, the egg absorbed a massive amount of mana from that bloody poacher battlefield and hatched into this little winged baby beast that Ronin named Sitta. But Sitta isn't just cute. This thing instantly heals Ronin's broken nose with magic, and it can communicate and follow commands telepathically. Talk about a phenomenally powerful familiar. Section 5. Awakening the Forbidden Curse. But it couldn't stay easy forever. Ronin's insane growth hits a massive, terrifying roadblock. He visits the Mage Tower to get this persistent, itchy curse in his eye looked at by Professor Secret, who is literally the continent's best curse artist. And what she finds is straight up horrifying. She doesn't just find one curse, she finds 8. 8 ancient, incredibly dangerous curses woven deep into Ronin's body, almost certainly planted there by this enigmatic, evil cult known as Nebula Clausier. To fix this, Professor Secret has to send Ronin deep into his own mind, but waiting for him in the shadows is Bajora. So what's Bajora? It's a forbidden book entity linked to the cult, possessing extreme powers of mind manipulation and illusion. It's basically been hiding out, searching for the ultimate physical vessel, and it decides Ronin is the perfect host. Bajora traps Ronin in this absolute nightmare landscape, throwing illusions of his painful past, his deepest regrets, and his dead comrades right at his face, trying to break his spirit. But Bajora makes one massive miscalculation. It severely underestimates the willpower of a man who spent his previous life fighting apocalyptic gods. Ronin absolutely refuses to break. In this super cinematic clash, he literally shatters Bajora's illusions using nothing but raw, unyielding mental fortitude. Section 6. The Shadow Within. Ronin survives the mental battle, obviously, but the aftermath, it changes him forever. Instead of being completely destroyed, Bajora's core forcefully merges with 2 of the remaining curses inside Ronin's chest. This bizarre fusion creates a highly unstable, dark energy source. It actually grants Ronin what looks like a simulated aura, this dark, purplish power that mimics the abilities of the absolute strongest aura users, but it stems from a forbidden, dangerous entity. And we see the consequences of this dark energy almost immediately during the Academy's 100 Beast Festival. A monster gets loose in the hunting grounds, a doppelganger Omega. Now, unlike normal doppelgangers, an Omega is born from dark emotions like hate and regret. When it locks onto Ronin, it doesn't just copy his face, it actually takes the form of his past self, the strict, regret-filled, battle-hardened soldier he used to be. It's literally Ronin's internal trauma manifesting physically to face off against his new, corrupted power. Ronin manages to pacify the doppelganger, promising his past self that this time things are going to be different. But it leaves us with this massive, chilling realization. Think about it. He's got the battle instincts of a veteran, the loyalty of future legends, and now he's got the dark, unpredictable power of a forbidden entity fused directly to his soul. So the ultimate question is, with a forbidden god's power now masquerading as his own, will Ronin use it to save the future from the giants? Or is he destined to become its newest, most terrifying threat? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I absolutely cannot wait to see where this wild journey takes us next.